The KV4P. What if the next great radio idea did not begin in a factory, but on a workbench? That is what makes KV4P so interesting. The KV4P is a true DIY build, an open-source project that lets you turn an Android phone into a real off-grid handheld radio by plugging in a small home-built radio board through USB-C. The app, firmware, board files, and build approach are all part of the project. It is not just a concept. It is something makers can actually build, use, and improve. And that matters, because this is where real change often starts. Not with a giant manufacturer, but with one smart idea that proves a different future is possible. The KV4P shows that a radio does not have to be a traditional handheld with a keypad and tiny screen. It can be software-driven with a modern interface that's all glass. It can use the phone you already carry as the interface. But here is what really stands out. One glance around the internet shows this is not just a niche curiosity. There are assembled versions, kits, and KV4P-based devices already being sold by multiple sellers on Amazon, eBay, and specialty electronics sites. That kind of resale and copycat market only happens when people see real demand. That tells you something powerful. People want this. They want radio hardware that feels modern. They want buildable radio projects. They want something open. They want something that breaks out of the old mold. The KV4P may be grassroots, but it proves a very big idea. The demand for a smarter, more modern kind of radio is already here. But we're not done. Relax. Sit back and follow along with us on this journey.
Now take the first idea, a radio breaking out of the old handheld mold, and push it much, much further. That's what Stixs Labs is doing. The Stixs handheld is a purpose-built next-generation communications platform. It is an open-source handheld that combines VHF, UHF, and Meshtastic via LoRa into one compact device. With its modern all-glass 5-inch touchscreen interface, Wi-Fi, USB-C power delivery, and a hardware design that feels far closer to a smart connected device than a traditional HT, it immediately stands apart. And the deeper you look, the more impressive it gets. This is not old radio thinking with a new shell. It is a modern hardware and software platform designed from the ground up for connected communications. It also goes beyond basic voice. The LoRa support provides long-range, low-power messaging and mesh-style applications, along with GPS field utility concepts, modern audio hardware, and secure device features for identity, attestation, and signing. Stixs is clearly aiming at something much bigger than a conventional handheld radio. It is positioning itself as a secure, programmable communications computer you can hold in your hand. That is what makes it so compelling. And visually, conceptually, and architecturally, it points toward where the category could go next. A real smart, connected, developer-friendly radio. A field device that feels like it belongs in this decade. It looks less like a traditional HT and more like something the radio world should have already had by now. But we're not done yet.
And then there is Conquest. This is where serious hardware engineering shows up. The Conquest S25% is not a concept or an experiment. It is the work of a company that clearly knows how to design and manufacture hard-use communications hardware at a professional level. This is a fully rugged smart device with built-in VHF and UHF DMR radio, cellular connectivity, and the kind of physical design meant to survive conditions that would destroy ordinary equipment. Conquest talks about devices like this in terms of water, freezing temperatures, dust impact, and extreme field environments. That tells you right away this is not hobby-grade hardware. But it is not just about toughness. Conquest also understands real radio operation. Their materials talk about repeater support and extended communications range, which shows they are thinking beyond simple push-to-talk and into serious field communications. That is what makes this device so important. It proves that modern, connected, field-ready radio hardware is already here, not as an idea, not as a prototype, but as a real product built by people who understand rugged hardware at a very high level. This is what happens when heavy hitters step in. A smart radio, a connected radio, a field-ready radio, built for the modern era.
Thank you for sticking this out. You're like the people in the movie theater that stick around for that little hidden trailer. You're looking at the Greyline Fabric. This is a live RF intelligent fabric that's both receiving RF traffic information and publishing RF traffic information. And this is part of Feedline Labs, formerly known as the Amateur Repeater Directory. So what are we looking at? We're looking at our demo. We have two different maps over here. We have the Greyline Fabric API right here, which is an API, and this is a virtual next-gen radio. It's real, although it's virtual, hooked up to this Greyline Fabric. So let's do something real quick. Anything I do on this map now is live instantly. So we're going to push this up to production either tonight or tomorrow night. Just a couple tweaks we made to make it all perfectly live. So see this little repeater down here jumping up and down? That's number 10. It's really not a number. It's just this rating for charts. I'm going to go online. Watch that. See how that changed down there? Watch the radio too. See that popped up there and it says active. Let me go offline. I'm offline. He's offline. He's offline. See how that works? Check that out. I go online. Everybody on the maps using it sees it. Every device out there in the world pulling data from our system also sees it live. So let's do something else. Let's do number 6 down here. He's the different repeater. We'll turn that off and go with this guy. Let's go online. Notice he's now popping up there. He sees it. This guy's also lit up. Let's go to this guy. He's got a little hidden ID on there. We're going to use that over here. I'm going to take the Greyline Fabric API. I'm going to take this, and by the way, the API I'm calling is report activity. So basically, let me put his ID in there. The air pulse is sniffing the air and said, hey, I just picked up traffic on this frequency and I know it's this repeater. I'm going to go ahead and post that to the Greyline Fabric. Let's hit execute and watch this number. Let's close this. Watch number 10 down here and watch this number 1 right here. I'm going to execute. Just did. Notice those guys lit up and this guy's also lit up now. So that's just a little teaser. We will have AirPulse working in the next couple of weeks. We have all the hardware in. We'll probably publish build kits for that until we get those mass produced, which actually should happen fairly quickly too. This will go worldwide. We're going to add UK next. Thanks. Bye.